Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with the message for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This is just going to be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read. I've already pulled your cards for your spread today, but if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become an official Sunflower. We start today's reading with the Empress. Very strong, feminine energy, life-giving, creative. Also, the Emperor is here. So this tells me right off the bat that I'm dealing with a counterpart situation. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be twin flames and all that kind of stuff. This could just be like soulmate energy or just somebody you feel very strongly connected to. I do see you having already been in a relationship with this person or going through a particularly rough patch in your relationship with this person. So if you're not currently connected to somebody, this may not be your reading, okay? So I see there being some sort of overwhelm or some sort of stress coming from having to make all the decisions or putting yourself in a masculine position within your relationship when you already have someone who is supposed to be fulfilling that role for you. It's almost as if that like kind of weaponized incompetence thing that a lot of women or feminines experience in their marriages and long-term relationships, where the masculine just kind of goes to work and comes home and the feminine just kind of does everything else under the sun, and the masculine thinks, well, I go to work and I make money and that should be good enough, and the feminine's like, it's not, because I'm doing everything else that has to be done around here. I'm taking care of everything else that we have to be responsible for, and I'm exhausted. I just see the feminine here really wanting things to change or wanting that to come to an end. Something about this tells me that this is not the first time you felt this way in this situation, and you've had multiple conversations with this person about how things need to change or what needs to change in this situation, and you're not sure if you want to continue investing in this relationship if nothing else is going to change. You might feel like, hey, it's time to just throw this out and be done with this. I'm not sure how involved you guys are as far as like living together, marriage, kids, all that kind of stuff, but there might be reasons why you can't just completely cut ties with this person. There might be reasons that are going to make it more complicated for you to walk out the door, for you to leave, if that's something that you chose to do. I do see you going back and forth about whether it's time to end this, but I definitely see you knowing for sure that it's time to end this specific chapter in this relationship. Meaning that if things don't change, if they don't evolve, if they don't step up to the plate, then the chapter may not be the only thing that's ending, is basically what I'm saying here. I see you wanting to stay committed to this person, wanting to continue to invest into this relationship, into this situation, this marriage, right? This partnership that you have with this person. I see you wanting that. You overall just want things to be different. You want this person to like step into a new level or new evolution of masculinity. It's possible that you are high school sweethearts, or you knew this person for a really long time, or you met this person when you were really young, whether you were together then or not, because it seems like you've been really patient with this person, and now that you're coming into this understanding, whether it's through experiencing the stories of other feminines in the same situation, or just understanding how society puts kind of this unnatural pressure on feminines to perform and just go above and beyond and be the cook, the cleaner, the nanny, all of these other things, the therapist, the teacher of these masculines that are in our lives, because they were somewhat unprepared for what long-term partnership and what long-term marriage looked like. And it's like you're understanding now that maybe you've been doing more than your share, that maybe you've been putting in more than you've had to. Maybe you've realized that for a while now, and that's creating a lot of conflict within your relationship. You want to feel like you're more in an equal partnership, but you also want your masculine to step up and take that masculine role. You want them to be the one who's making the decisions. You want them to be the one who has the final say, but it's almost as if you don't necessarily trust their judgment. There's something about what this person would naturally choose, the lifestyle that they lead or the things that they're into, that makes you feel as if you can't trust them to lead your life, which is unfortunate because you're already kind of in this situation. The only thing that you can really do from this point forward is either accept this person exactly as they are, or decide to move on and allow them to sort out the pieces for themselves. Now, there are a ton of options in between there, right? Those are, the pretty extreme choices that you can make. But if you're tired of trying to work this out and tired of saying the same things over and over again and wondering why this person still doesn't get it, they still don't understand why you're so, overwhelmed with everything that you have to handle on this side of things, it's because they don't necessarily see your perspective. They don't even necessarily want to see your perspective. I do see this person being emotionally available and potentially very emotionally supportive, and maybe somebody who is very open that way, but they are also very, very, very stubborn. You could be dealing with a masculine water sign energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. They don't have to be that. They don't even have to have that in their chart. That's just how they're coming through. I think that that's the only thing that's going to help them understand your perspective is if you present it to them in an emotional way. Like, hey, I'm hurting, or I'm sad, or I'm disappointed, or I'm feeling this. I think the way that you've tried to present the things that you want to change is more in a practical way. Hey, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. I think if you come to them and you say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling disrespected, I'm feeling misunderstood or disregarded, or as if I'm having to do everything else, and I'm feeling these things. Maybe come to them and approach them on that level or in that way. And that might even create the shift in their perspective in which they understand, oh, this is really affecting her emotionally. This isn't just as simple as going to get the groceries. This isn't just as simple as doing the bedtime routine with the kids. This is something that's really affecting her emotionally, which could be affecting her mentally as well. And I'd say her as in the feminine, not necessarily about the body that you're in, okay? Let's clarify this and see what else is going on here. The Empress. Why is the Empress here for Virgo? We have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, you're frustrated. You're tired. You're doing all the work. Your defenses are high now because you just feel like this person may never even change. You just feel like you're at your wit's end, and as if they're getting some sort of sick enjoyment from watching you struggle, or watching you feel stressed, or watching you feel overwhelmed. I'm not saying they are or aren't, but I do see that that's how you feel. You feel as if like, well, if they're not listening to me, if they're not understanding me or even attempting to, then they must be enjoying the fact that I'm suffering, that I'm struggling, that I'm going through all of these things, and they're not even here to support me, to help me, to really show me any kind of compassion or care. And the Nine of Wands, once again, another, oh my goodness, you are so tired, you are so exhausted, you're fed up. And it's not even like in the angry way, it's just, it's like, oh, just another day of waking up and having to do all this stuff, and me saying things that are falling on deaf ears. And you know, once again, this idea of coming to them with this emotional plea or this emotional argument that might shift their perspective is putting the onus on you. It's putting the responsibility on you to change their mind. Is that fair to you? I don't really think so. And when I recommended that, when I suggested that, it's just a suggestion. It's not necessarily saying that that's something that you have to do, but once again, it's making you responsible for the fact that your partner isn't choosing to understand you. Okay? Two of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Yeah, can we love again? Can we be, yeah. We got the Ace of Cups and the Devil. This is something that tells me that there's something about the love that you feel for this person, the care that you feel for this person, the emotion that you have for this person that's keeping you stuck, that's keeping you locked into this situation, even though you're uncertain. And I feel like that's what's always kind of like the deciding factor. Well, do I love them? Of course you love them. Of course you love them. But that should not be the deciding factor about whether or not you stay. Because sure, love is fantastic. Love is great. But love, what's love got to do with it when it really comes down to having a successful partnership with somebody that you've committed yourself to? Love is the beginning. Love opens the door. Love makes things possible. And after that, it's time for both people to like get in there, do the work, get your hands dirty, and do what you have to do to support the other person, show up for the other person. You just wish that you were with somebody who was stronger, who was more independent. You might feel like this person is too codependent for you. You might feel like this person relies on you too much. You might feel like this person parentifies you in this relationship, in this situation. But because you love them, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to be a slave forever. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're playing on. Ten of Wands. Oh, they love me. They're not gonna go anywhere. They love me. They're not going anywhere, right? Ten of Wands. Page of Cups. Whew. We got the Page of Cups with the Ten of Wands, which indicates to me that you potentially even wanting something new, wanting the romance back, wanting that friendship back, wanting the fun back. And it's just so hard for you with the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. It's just so hard for you to see this person romantically, or see this person through an emotional lens, or through the lens of this is my lover, you know, this is my person, this is my soulmate. It's hard for you because because you don't have the capacity for it right now. You're doing so many other things, whether they're practical or tangible or not. You are so overwhelmed by the day-to-day, the things that you have to do, the things that keep this ship afloat, right? That you don't have the time or the space for that kind of thing. But that's what you want. And that's why you so desperately want for things to change, because you want to feel that way about this person again. You want to crush on this person again. You want to rip this, you want to feel like you want to rip this person's clothes off again. Because right now that's not happening. Right now there's not a whole lot of romance. There's not a whole lot of, you know, you want to lust after this person again. You want to want them again. And you just don't feel that way. You're too tired. You got too much going on. We have the world here. Let's clarify the world for Virgo. Queen of Wands and the Six of Cups. Okay, so basically this tells me that you understand that your connection with this person is very, very strong. I also see that there's a part of you that understands that you're just going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to decide what's best for you. You're going to have to decide what's best for you based on what you are feeling passionately about. There might be other ways in which you want to divert or invest your creative energy or your focus that have nothing to do with this relationship. I recommend doing that. This might be something that you've connected to since childhood. It also could be something that you feel connects to your inner child, and that makes you feel more alive. I don't think it has anything to do with this relationship, but overall, I just feel like you want to feel more passionately about this relationship. And if this relationship isn't going to meet your need in that way, then you're going to find another way to express your passion. Okay, and I think that you absolutely should. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because that's going to cause conflict between you and this person. You deciding that, hey, I'm my own person. I can do what I want. I can do things that I enjoy. I can enjoy my life without you. I don't necessarily need you over here to like weigh me down or hold me back. Even if you don't end the relationship, right? Even if you don't choose not to. What if you just choose, hey, I'm going to operate as an independent person within this relationship. I'm not going to prioritize their needs, their wants, their desires all the time. I'm going to focus on what it is that I want, what makes me happy. Right? I think that will cause conflict in your relationship, because this person is so used to getting 100% of your energy. There are some men who can't even handle there are some masculines who can't even handle their feminines having a hobby. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, when are you going to make dinner? Come on. We have the Hermit with the Eight of Wands, the Sun at the bottom of the deck. This tells me that you are moving into a more, and the High Priestess. I love this energy. This is beautiful energy. This is telling me that you're moving into a more kind of isolated chapter, an isolated period in your life. Now, I'm not saying that you're ending this relationship. I'm not saying that you're continuing this relationship. I think regardless of this relationship, put this relationship to the side. You're growing, you're evolving. You might even be going through some kind of spiritual awakening. This is only something that you can do. You can't take this person on the ride with you. You have to do this by yourself. And even if you try to force them onto the train so you guys can take this journey together, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to get the same experience that you're getting, because this right now, this is your moment. This is about you. Whatever it is that you're connecting to, whatever it is that you're going to start feeling passionately about, either you already have connected to it or you will shortly after you see this reading. Whatever it is, it's going to speak to you in ways that you could not imagine. It's going to make you feel that fulfillment that you've been missing out on. I think you've been looking for this person to fill gaps that can only be filled by you. That can only be filled by your passion, things that you want to do, the things that you feel strongly about, right? So let's stop focusing so much on what this person is not doing. Let's focus more about where you aren't fulfilling your own needs. Because if you're looking to this person to be everything for you, they're always going to fail. No partner should ever expect everything from their partner. Now, I will say this person is not pulling their weight based on what I'm seeing here, and that's why you do feel so exhausted. But maybe you don't have to do everything. Maybe you can let some things fall through the cracks. Maybe you can, if they spend a lot of time on the game, maybe you find something that you spend a lot of time doing, and when they're on the game, you go do that. Watch how quickly this person goes, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you into? Watch how quickly this person turns around and all of a sudden, wants to do stuff, all of a sudden wants to get things together. It might be a little performative, but what I'm saying is this is about you. This is about what you want. Stop focusing so much on not getting your needs met. If you're not leaving, if you're not going anywhere, then just do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. The Emperor. Now, I'm not recommending anybody have an affair. Okay, I'm not recommending that. I can't control you. You're your own person. I'm just saying. We have the Tower here. 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Let's get one more for the Emperor. Yeah, the Moon. there's something that has not been at the forefront of this masculine's consciousness that will be coming through, and it's going to be a different thing than it is for you. I think you're going to realize the ways once you embrace this new way of living where you are self-focused, where you decenter your partner and center yourself in your own life, right? Not that your partner isn't a priority, not that your relationship with this person isn't a priority, but you are at the center of your life. And once you learn how to center yourself, it's going to make you understand ways in which you have been violating your own boundaries and your own sense of self and your own desires to cater to this person. But it's also going to create an understanding within this person, the ways in which they have let you down, the ways in which they have failed you, the ways in which they have not shown up for you. Okay? Honestly, I think it's going to cause conflict at first once you really center yourself and once you really start moving more selfishly. But overall, if this relationship is going to make it, that's what you have to do in order for this person to understand, like, I can move on and have my own life. And you can have your own life now. You should have your own life outside of your partner. You should have your own things going on, your own passions, your own desires, especially if you don't have a whole lot in common when it comes to like what you guys enjoy doing. But building your own life, your own friend group, your own social thing, your own hobbies, your own stuff for you is really going to trigger the ways in which this person is like, has not been doing it. They have a lot of insecurities about their masculinity. They have a lot of insecurities about their ability to provide. Maybe they don't make as much money as you do. Maybe they're not as good at the domestic labor as you are. Maybe they just feel like they are somewhat inadequate or inferior to you in a way because they don't live life so fully. And they tend to be a little bit laissez-faire in the way that they carry themselves and the choices that they make. This is going to really bring that to the forefront of their mind. All of their insecurities will be triggered, and that's what's going to cause some conflict if y'all haven't already been in conflict already. And if you're wondering why you're arguing more now with your person than you ever have, it's because you are finding yourself. It's because you are centering yourself. You're taking them off the pedestal that you once had them on, and you're going, you need to be over here. I'm on my own pedestal. Let's clarify the Hierophant for Virgo, please. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Yep. And the King of Pentacles. Creating your own sense of safety and security. Creating your own sense of legacy. Creating, your own sense of, this is important to me, so I'm going to work at it. This is important to me, so I'm going to try really hard to get better at it. It's like developing a skill. It's like starting a new hobby and wanting to get really good at it. This is the part of your life where you're going to realize you have so many gifts and skills and talents that you were not even aware of. You are so intelligent, and your ability to learn new things is unparalleled, okay? And you're Virgo, okay? You're probably good at most things that you try. If you really apply yourself and you really, invest your energy into it, I think that's what's going to happen here. I think you're going to realize that you are capable of so much more than just living and dying for this relationship. Whether you choose to end it or not, whether you choose to continue in it or not, you are so much bigger than this. You are so much more, there's so much more life to be lived. And I think it's going to come through developing some sort of skill. And that skill might also pay off for you. This could also be your career, very much focusing or being more career focused. If maybe you were like a stay-at-home mom or just a stay-at-home partner, you're going to get out there, you're going to decide, I want to go back to work. I want to go back to work. I want to make my own money. I want to live my own life. I want to have my own dreams. I want to do my own stuff. And that's going to be incredibly freeing for you. Once again, this person will be triggered by that, but that's not your problem, okay? Four of Pentacles. Eight of Swords, yep. And the Ace of Swords. This is, this is wonderful energy because I feel like there's a part of you that wasn't quite sure if you were going to be able to do what you wanted to do, to like walk your own path or live your own life, right? Because you maybe felt as if there would be these negative repercussions for you choosing not to center this person in your world anymore. And yeah, they're your partner. They're important to you. You might want to be with them until the end of time. But at the same time, you have to take care of yourself. And now you're understanding there's so much clarity that's coming through, right? And you feel like you're going to start to notice there's a connection between what you're willing to give them and how much you're giving them versus how much you're investing in yourself and how you feel about yourself. The more you invest in who you are, what you want, what you like, the more you're going to be able to be there and show up and support the other people around you, because you will be so fulfilled within you that you will have the capacity for other people. It's only when we give and we give and we give and we give and we're depleted and we're empty that we just feel like we have nothing left. We have nothing left for ourselves. We have nothing left for other people. But if we choose and learn how to pour into ourselves, whatever's inside the cup, that's for you. Whatever pours out of the cup is for everybody else. And Iyanla Vanzant, she's the first person I ever heard say that. Keep that in mind. The King of Cups. We have the Knight of Swords and the Five of Cups. There's big changes on the way. Okay? This person, I'm telling you, they are going to go through some sort of process of like, I don't know, just feeling very defeated. They might do something impulsive. They might choose to end the relationship as a result of you choosing to center yourself. I'm not really sure. I don't necessarily see you being the one who pulls the trigger. I honestly feel as if this person might feel emasculated or somehow inadequate or somehow just less than you as a result of you growing more into yourself. Don't take that personally. It may create challenges in your relationship, whether you stay together or not. This person may choose to go their own way. I do feel like this person is going to be a little bit like, I don't know, just taking their frustration out on you or attempting to. Don't even give that room to grow. Don't even give that room to breathe. Because if you allow them to take out their frustration on you, then they're going to continue doing that, and they're going to try to humble you or bring you back down because they feel like you can only be together if you're at the level that they're at, or they don't want anybody else to want you or anybody else to have you, or they don't want you to feel confident or feel like yourself. You know what I'm saying? They want you to stay stuck and feel like the only way in which you can live your life is by giving everything you have over to them. I understand that this might sound really kind of crazy or evil but this is how a lot of people operate. A lot of people are very, very selfish, and they only want people around them who are going to give to them without limits. They want that unconditional love. They want that unconditional access. They want that all access pass to your energy, to your effort, to all of that kind of stuff. And I don't feel like they necessarily deserve it based on what I'm seeing right here. What I will say is that don't take it personally, but if it comes to a point where this person is too confrontational, this person is too aggressive, this person is too frustrated, and they don't find a proper outlet for the changes that they're going through internally, I would move away from them as fast as possible. I wouldn't even think about it twice. If this person starts coming at you sideways and it never stops, and they don't ever try to understand where you're coming from, then you got to get the hell up out of there. All right, Virgo, this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like and share, and I'll be with you next time.